What's going on, boys? This is Daddy Big here, and I kind of just wanted to talk about knowing when to quit. This is kind of an interesting topic, but I had this situation come up in my life recently. Where the specifics of the situation don't really matter, but it was a group, a performing group I had been in for years. It would have been my fifth year being in this group, and I had to make the hard decision to not, sign the contract to do it this year. And it's weird, right? Because this program's something that's been a huge part of my life for, for years. Like I said, this was my fifth year doing it, and I decided to leave the group. And even against some advice from other people I talked to. But I guess that's really what this video is about for me, is knowing when to quit. Because for me, the decision was justified. I had ran my time with the group, and I was ready for something new, And for me, this was more of an educational opportunity than anything. I was playing in this performing group because I wanted to get better at what the group did, And that's all fine and dandy. And, it was fun too, because I was engaged and challenged and learning new things every year I did it, But I really, as I was thinking about signing up for it this year, I really just sat back and thought that, I don't know, I don't really, I thought to myself that I don't really want to do it again, And it's the kind of situation where you really have to break down the pros and the cons of something, And the good things about doing this group again would be that, I got to hang out with some people I care about. I got to play a little music and that kind of thing, And the cons were that it would take up hours a week, and I wouldn't really learn that much from it, Because, I feel like the older I get, the more valuable my time becomes. One of my teachers told me that would happen to me, that someday I would have to start picking and choosing what it is that I do in my everyday life, And I think this is one of the first times that truly, because, I've talked on the channel before about how I've dropped activities before that I felt I didn't need to do anymore. But this is different because this was a group that was quite a bit more personal to me in a way, because it was all music stuff. And usually I try to do as much music as possible. So the thought of quitting out on something seems strange for me. But yeah, when I really broke it down, right, when I really sat down and thought about it, I just realized I didn't have anything else to gain from doing the project, And sometimes that's a hard decision to have to make, because I feel like there's always the thought that people are depending on you, Because if you're good at something, there's that pressure to do it because you're good at it, and you've been doing it for so long, you feel like you don't want to let other people down. And for me, that was one of the hardest parts of it, was feeling like I was gonna let people down, But the fact of the matter is, those hours a week I would have spent bored out of my mind, I'm able to take that time and put it forward on really focusing on other things. Like this channel is something I want to focus on. Writing more music, Every single day, every minute of the day, I've just felt this, Every minute of the day is critical, Because as soon as the clock hits 10, well, no matter what, I cut it off and I go to bed so that I can get enough sleep for the next day, And that really just, not only does that help for my health, right, for getting the same amount of sleep every night, but also it's huge because when 10 o'clock is hardcore lights off, that means that I have to budget my time perfectly and get everything done before 10, you know? So that means that every moment of the day is valuable. And I really just, as I've been having this experience more of just how valuable a day is, I realized that, okay, so here's the thing, right? I was, years ago, when I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to do drum corps, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's essentially a college level performing arts association for marching band, right? And like I said, way back before I was even old enough to do it, I was thinking, was that going to be an option for me? Because I was in marching band in high school and all that stuff. So I was really thinking, like, is this something I want to do? And I remember I was talking to my teacher about it. And I asked him, I was like, do you think I should do this? Is DCI in the cards for me? And what he told me was this. He was like, Cameron, think about it this way. If you do DCI every day of the summer, you're going to be spent drumming. Getting better at drumming all the time, right? And think about, if you don't do DCI, think about if you could be that productive. Do something every single day to that level for the whole summer instead. Like, spend the whole summer writing music, right? And picture those 2 summers and think about which one you'd rather have looking back. And I think, for me, that's been such a powerful tool in deciding what I want to do in life, Because, it really is true. You got to think, if I do this versus if I do this, what is going to be better for me? And it seems so simple, but wording it that way of, what are you going to regret the least or feel the best about looking back on your life later? That's such a powerful notion. And for me, for this performing group, I decided to quit. I really thought about it. I thought, if I spent the winter doing this group, hours a week, versus if I spent hours a week writing or working on my solo work or working on the channel, which would I look back on more fondly? And I really think, for me, I reached the conclusion that this group just wasn't in the picture anymore. There were other things I wanted to do. And not feeling guilty about that was hard, But I talked to my leaders in the group, the mentors, people around me, and when some of them were confused with my decision, even a little bit upset at first, but I sat down and had a talk with them, and they're good people, and I explained to them my thought process of needing to move on and find new paths, and they understood, because they want to support me as a musician more than anything else. And it was like, when I used to take piano lessons, it got to the point where I realized that my youth piano teacher ran out of things to teach me when I got to a certain age, And, as bleak as it may sound, someday, I'm sure, like many others, I will reach the point where this YouTube channel too becomes a matter of not in the picture anymore, It'll get to the point where, whether it's because I'm starting a family or having a real career or anything of that effect, at someday I will have to say goodbye, and I'll have to know when to quit on YouTube, because I can't do this forever, There's only so many things I can create, and I have plenty of ideas that go far beyond even anything I've done yet in my career. So much I've yet to accomplish and do and put out there. But someday with this too, I will have to quit, So if I can get these skills early on, hopefully I'll cut the YouTube plug at the right time. But in the meantime, I wanna really try my best at everything I do, and really do the things that bring me the most fulfillment in life. So I want to thank you boys for watching. Let me know down below if you have any experiences with having to quit something. I'd love to hear your stories. And in the meantime, I'll see you around.